프론트맨을 생포하는데 실패하면 어떻게든 게임 성으로 잔입한다. 이거 성사장이 계획한 플랜 B대로 되고 있는 거네.
Personifying your previous Leons. Once again, hundreds of people are knocked out for the duration of the trip to the island, ignoring the fact that putting someone to sleep and having them wake up again is a delicate science. And during this time, they're undressed, redressed, and placed into bunk beds, all so they can wake up at roughly the same time. Just look at all the magic you can get away with if you perform it off screen.
여기서 나가면 굿 한 번에.
If? How does she already know that this is an if situation when everyone else will be very shocked by all the killing that happens in the first game?
그래! 얼굴은 왜 가려?
Probably so it'll serve as a big plot twist later in the season. Come on, player 444. Are you the only person that didn't watch season 1?
그럼 핸드폰이라도 돌려주세요. 저 코인 시세 봐야 되거든요.
All of the words I just heard and the order in which this crypto douche yeeted them out.
돌아가서 남은 인생을 빚쟁이들에게 쫓기며 쓰레기처럼 사시겠습니까?
A piece of trash running from creditors was A, the name of my college ska band, B, my submission to the 2023 Turner Prize, C, my childhood recurring nightmare, or D, the title of my sex tape?
한 게임만 하고 나가도 상금을 받을 수 있다는 말인가요?
Why doesn't Gi-hun just tell them right now that they're going to be killed during the games? He doesn't know when his backup is arriving. It could be after the first game for all he knows. At the very least, shouldn't he start recruiting people to help him overthrow the games when his people do arrive?
게임에 참가를 원하시는 분은 동의서 하단에 사인을 해주시면 됩니다.
Pretending that these documents are going to hold up in court. Or that when the players start bleeding out in the middle of the games, they think to themselves, oh man, I wish I never signed that form.
사람 뺐다가 기사 뜨고 일커져.
Assuming that the shady masked people who drugged you and brought you to a secluded island would let anything there get on the news.
상황이 급해서 연락할 사람이 선장님밖에 없었어요.
Junho could buy a fleet of ships with all of Gi-hun's cash and leave this poor bastard alone. Methinks the show doth protest too much about keeping this fisherman in the story. Pretty sure that's how Shakespeare intended his work to be used.
정보야, 지금부터 무조건 내 뒤에 꼭 붙어있어. 뭔 사이에 느끼해져가지고 왜 붙어있어 임마?
Gi-hun thinks there's not enough time in the day to say, these are death games and the people eliminated are killed. Oh wait, I just said it. Didn't actually take that long after all, huh?
야이씨, 이게 사람이 다니는 데가 아닌데.
Thinking the inventor of rocks is interested in your patch notes.
샀어. 저기.
Believing that your boss was willingly kidnapped so he could expose the murder games he already survived, but actually had a hidden goal of wanting a quiet fishing trip. Also, why are you leading the hired killers from the front? The whole point of hiring men like that is for them to take any bullets for you. Delegation is the key to successful enterprise, whether it be in business or revenge. If I was Gi-hun, I'd have checked that tooth as soon as I woke up. And you know what? I'm doing more than one tracker too. Redundancies are important, whether it be in business or revenge. Also, it's over 22 minutes into the third episode before we started playing a proper game. Can you imagine going 22 minutes into The Lion King before seeing a lion? Ridiculous! Don't even get me started on the lack of squids. I'd keep the dental implant though. That's a big masticator right there, and he might need it if he survives. Yeah, I know he'll survive. He's the main character, and we know there's a season 3 coming. I just enjoy flexing my sinister voice. Doesn't get as much airtime as my cynicism voice.
저 인간 일부러 사람들 겁주고 지 혼자 상금 먹으려고 저러는 것 같은데요.
But what he's saying will help you all win the game. It's not like he's saying red lights are oppression and must be ignored in the name of freedom. Telling someone to not be alarmed or panicked when your voice is the epitome of panicked alarmedness.
너한테 벌이 앉았어.
Fearing a creature that is generally harmless. If you leave bees alone, they'll just leave you alone. Now, if it's a wasp or a hornet, f*** it, man. Just shoot me dead. Just make sure you take the bastard down with me. Waiting this long to follow instructions. From returning the hats of little kids to removing the hats from grown men. Oh, how I thought I knew you, new character, whose name I have forgotten. Alright, I have no idea what the f*** this creepy jazz band is about. I already hate the guy. I didn't require a clearly heinous love of jazz puppetry to cement the sentiment.
산내 못 가면 어차피 죽어! 저 인형은 공장을 감지하는 장치야!
Sorry, I'm calling bullshit on that thing not being able to detect any movement from Gi-hun. His shouts are making him twitch like crazy. Badass imaginary cape or no? Ding! Thanos isn't immediately shot for talking or raising his eyebrows multiple times.
저 아니에요!
You did, and currently are.
야, 기훈아. 뭐냐, 미친놈같이 생긴 인형. 눈에서 막 총 쏘던데.
Not paying attention. Why are you not paying attention? What else do you have to do other than to pay attention besides running and stopping for your life? That is.
저희는 여러분을 해치려는 게 아닙니다.
Lying. That's an OG sin. They put that one on a stone and everything.
게임의 속행을 원하시면 동그라미, 중단을 원하시면 X를 눌러주시면 됩니다.
Nothing like democracy worming its way into my murder game show. What's next? Combining the Great British Baking Show with some light filibustering?
니들이 이 세상의 날 때를 알 수 없었듯이 떠날 때도 니들이 결정할 수 없어.
True, but you can decide whether or not to play in traffic.
니들이 죽을 곳과 시간은 태어날 때부터 천지신명께서 정하시는 것이야.
Like, collectively? Did certain gods make those decisions? How many and which ones? Was it unanimous? Are we going to be forced to sit through that vote too? Voting montage, voting montage, voting montage, and more voting montage. At least this will probably only happen once this season, right? What's up with everyone in the show not wiping the blood off of their face? It's gotta be irritating and itchy.
게임도 하기 전에 총질한다고 법부터 주지 않나?
You warned us that the ice caps were gonna melt, and then they did, you bastard.
그래도 이 친구 덕분에 우리가 정신 차려가지고 거기서 안 걸리고 살아남은 건데.
Not necessarily. Some of you still would have won without his aid. It would have been less, sure, but not all the wins can be attributed to him.
소리 하고 있네. 혼자 우승했으면 456억을 벌었다는 건데 그런 놈이 여기 왜 다시 기어들어와?
The character who is 10 billion won in debt apparently finds it hard to believe that someone could blow 45.6 billion won. As if Gi-hun couldn't have won the game years ago and spent it all on rich people like castles, social media platforms, and elections.
여기 우승한 사람들인데 뭐가 걱정이야?
A previous winner who was unable to save any of the people he was competing with. I'd say his prior experience just trashed your odds of winning, if anything.
7번.
Thinking it'd be fair to the other players to put James Bond in your game. People say this show has a deep social commentary at its core, but all I see is an evenly divided group between red and blue, with one half cheering and the other looking distraught based on a vote they make at regular intervals. Spell it out for me, Squid people. Frontman has put himself in the game. Sure is lucky that Jun-ho is committed to protecting the identity of his murderous brother, or Gi-hun would have immediately recognized him and been robbed of the many moral quandaries that are no doubt coming. Look how perfectly horrible this turned out for everyone.
Democracy is the worst. And you're stalking and listening to every stupid opinion.
Rise and shine, Sammy.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
지금 작업 거는 거야?
Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight.
1, 2, wait. That just kind of came out on its own.
Yeah, that slipped right out, huh?
I barely pulled that. I barely pulled it.
들어오는 분들은 통과입니다.
여러분!